All right, welcome back to lesson 5 here. We're looking at page 25. This is the second part of the unit 3, lesson 5 that we're going to get going through. You should have already watched the first part of this lesson, which is 3.5.2. And we're going to get started here on the stuff to make you think. Okay, which the stuff to make you think and the tough stuff is stuff you have already, the stuff you've already done, but it just makes it just a little bit harder, okay? What number is half of 12? Use the picture. Half of a half. So here's a half. This right here is 1/2. So if we break that section down, if we just look from 0 to a half, what is halfway between that? Well, that would be splitting it into 2 groups, and you want the one in the middle. So whatever this is right here. Well, if you look at the big picture, that is quarters, and that is 1/4. This is 2/4, and this is 3/4. So 1/4 is half of a half. So 1/4. What number is half of a third? Okay, so here's a third, here's a 1/3, 2/3. Okay, so if I look at 0 to a third, which is right here, half of that would be somewhere in here, which would be this number right here. Okay, and that's a 1/6. So 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6. So half of a third is 1/6. Okay. What number is 1/3 of a half? Okay. So we're looking at this section of a half. So we're looking at this section right here, and I want a third of it. So I'm breaking this gap into thirds. So 1, 2, 3. Here's thirds, and I want the first third, which the first third of 1/2 is 1/6. Okay. What number is 2/3 of a half? Okay, so now we're here. We still want the thirds. So 2/3, so this would be 1/3. This would be 2/3 of a half, which is 2/6. What number is a half of 5 halves? Okay, or sorry, of 2/5. So here's 1/5. Here's 2/5. So if I look at 2/5 here, and I want half of that number, 2/5, half of that number would be splitting it into 2 groups and taking the one in the middle. That's a 1/5. So 1/5. Okay. Now, just kind of working ahead here, mathematically, we can figure this out without this. Okay. Remember, half is 1/2. If you see the word of means multiply. So if you take 1/2 times 1/2, you will get 1/4. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. Same thing here. If you take 1/2 times 1/3, 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 3 is 6. This only works with multiplication. 1/2 or 1/3 of 1/2. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 2 is 6. What's on the top stays on the top. What's on the bottom will stay on the bottom. 2/3 of 1/2. So 2 times 1 is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. Now, 2/6 reduces. 2/6 reduces right here to 1/3. Okay, it's the same. 1/2 of times 2/5. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 5 is 10. Now we got 1/5. Well, I don't have tenths up here in this picture, but I know both of these numbers are divisible by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So those are equivalent. Okay? Look again at 1/2 of 1/3 from problem 13, and 1/3 of 1/2 from problem 14. So 13 and 14. We got the same answer. They end up being the same number, but the process of finding the answer is different. Which picture below shows the process of finding 1/2 of 1/3? Which one shows 1/3 of 1/2? Okay, so here in this picture, we have a half and a half. So then we take the half and divide it into thirds. So this picture, and your answer is here. Answer is the same in both. We broke the half we broke into thirds. So this is 1/3, this is thirds of a half. So this is, which one shows 1/3 of a half? This one right here. Now this one you had thirds and you broke a third into a half. So this is half of a third, okay? Because you had a third and you took 1/2 of it. What number is 1/2 of 2/3? Okay, so half of 2/3. So if I take 2/3 and I break that in half, halfway is 1/3. Okay, that's problem 15 switched. So this problem switched around. Okay, still got the same answer. What is 2/5 of 1/2? Okay, problem 16 switched around. So 2/5 of 1/2. So here's a half, and if I were to divide that up into fifths, I would want the second fifth. Okay, but I can't really divide that one up very easily because I don't have tenths there, but it would be this 1/5 right here, 1/5. So if you took a half and you broke it into fifths, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The second fifth would be right here, which would be right here. Okay. But really, you would need tenths along that whole thing. All right, the tough stuff here. List 5 other names for 2/5. Okay, 2/5. So I need other fractions that are the exact same as 2/5. Okay, which when I reduce it will be 2/5. So I could have 4/10. Okay, all I did was took 2 times 2 and 5 times 2. If I take it times 3, that's 6/15. I could have 8/20. Notice the top is going up by 2's while the bottom is going up by 5. 2 and 5. I got 10/25 and 12/30. Those are all 2/5. List 5 fractions that are between -1/4 and +1/4. Okay, so you might need a number line here for this one. So here's 0, here is 1, and here is 1. So +1/4, so that's breaking this into fourths. So 1/4. And -1/4 is just on the other side. So I need 5 fractions that are between there. Now let's look up here to see what is less than a fourth. Here's a fourth. Less than a fourth would be a fifth, a sixth. I can keep going on. A seventh, an eighth, a ninth, a tenth. All of those are smaller. And they could be negative too. So we could have 1/5 or negative 1/5. We could have 0, zeros between them, which would be 0 over 0. I could have a 1/6 or negative 1/6. Those are all between those. I could even have something like 3/13. That's in there, okay? But it gets really crazy on those. List 5 fractions that are between -2 and -1. Okay, so here we have -2, -1. So it's got to be bigger than 1. Sorry, it's got to be bigger than -2 but less than -1. So that's like looking, if you flip back a page, maybe a couple pages back into the first unit, we're looking at between 1 and 2, but then I can make all of those negative. So you have 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, all of those, but they got to be negative. So we could say -5/4, -6/4, -7/4, -5/3. Okay, because 3/3 would be 1, and I need more than that. 6/3 would be 2, but I don't want that. And I could say -4/3 too. Okay, you got to think about the ones that are bigger than 1 and less than, or sorry, bigger than -2, less than -1. -2 could have been -6/3, and this would be -3/3. Okay, and you got to think of the numbers up here that are between that. List 5 fractions between 1/3 and 4/5. So we'll come back up here. 1/3, and this is 3/5 and 4/5. So list numbers between 1/3 and 4/5. Okay, I got 2/5 and 3/5. 2/5 and 3/5. Oop, I know you're not seeing that. Okay, and then 2/5 and 3/5. I got a half. A half is in there, going all the way to 4/5, and I got 2/3 and 3/4. 2/3 and 3/4. Okay, so using this bar graph here, this bar chart, can be very, very helpful for finding some of these things. Okay. So 3. This whole thing has to equal 3. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 butterflies on it. So if we have, whoop, you can't see it. So I got a total of 6 butterflies that together have to weigh 3. So if we take these 6 butterflies and group them up into 3 different groups. Okay, I'll have this in a group, this in a group. Okay, those kind of cancel each other, and I got this group out here in a group. All 3 of those groups have to equal 1. Why? Because I have a total of 3. So if this group right here equals 1, the butterfly has to be worth a half. You could also look that you need a total of 3, but you have 6 butterflies. Okay, if you divide this by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So you get that same fraction. All right, here you got a 2, so that makes this 1 and this 1. Okay, then you split this 1 up. This is a half, and this is a half. This is a half, and this is a half. Okay, so the triangle equals a half. Now, this is where it gets a little bit hard because you have 2 things that need to total a half. Okay, if you have a half, but you got to split it into 2 parts, right here, each part has to be 1/4. So the square is 1/4. Okay, you got a half, but you're splitting it into thirds. Okay, this would be a half, and you're going to split that half into thirds right here. Okay, thirds right here. So one of them would be worth a 1/6. So flour is 1/6. If you take a half and split it into fourths, we don't have that up here, but take this half and split it into fours would be 1/8. Okay, all you gotta do is take this 2 and multiply it by how many there are. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 was 6. 2 times 2 was 4. 2 times 1 was 2. Okay, again, that is tough stuff, but it makes you think just a little bit harder and apply it elsewhere. So page 26 you are ready for, and you should be working through those additional practice so that you can take the quiz on the lesson 5. So that would be the 3.5 quiz. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me through email on Canvas or ask me in class. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.